There's a pain that they can't name. It's not absence, it's something subtler, deeper, more cruel. This person feels. They feel there was something greater than the eyes could see, something that touched a place they didn't even know existed, but it's lost now. And now they don't know how to return. It's not longing for someone, it's the absence of a frequency, of a presence that was refuge, mirror, answer. This person tries to move forward. They do what they can, distract themselves, get involved, put on a smile for the outside. But inside, everything is suspended. Because what was there wasn't ordinary. It wasn't just affection. It was a pact. It was a soul recognizing another soul. This person tries to understand what happened, where everything disconnected, where they stopped hearing what once sufficed to feel, and the more they try to find the way back, the more they get lost. This person seeks in other bodies, other conversations, other hands, but they don't find it, because it wasn't about that. It was about the exact vibration that made everything silent inside, and that vibration does not repeat. There's a space left there, open, alive, paining. This person doesn't know if there's still a connection, but they feel that there is. Deep down, they realize there's still something pulsating, weak, distant, but it exists. That's what hurts the most. Knowing that the connection didn't die, it just became inaccessible, as if it were in a realm where the hand can't reach, but the heart feels. This person has tried to forget. They've tried to rebuild. They've tried to deceive themselves. But certain connections don't break with time, nor with logic, nor with effort. They transform into a living absence, into a memory that doesn't become the past, into a presence that no one else can occupy. Do you know someone like this? Have you ever been this person? Comment, I felt it. There's a presence that doesn't disappear, even when everything is gone. Even when days go by and the world turns and people move on and everything changes, even so, this presence remains. It stays in the form of emptiness. It remains as a memory, it remains as silence, and this person feels as if a part of them has been suddenly taken away, without warning, without explanation, without preparation. It wasn't a typical goodbye. It wasn't a breakup. It wasn't a rational separation. It was as if the soul had been pulled away from something that was theirs. And since then, nothing fits anymore. Nothing vibrates the same. Nothing makes sense with the same intensity. This person tries to adapt, tells themselves that it's all okay, does what needs to be done, completes the tasks, smiles in pictures, behaves. But inside them, there's a sound that no one else hears, and that sound is the absence, not of a body, but of a connection that was divine. It was something else. It was a presence that healed just by being seen. It was an energy that recognized itself without saying a word. This person doesn't miss a relationship. They miss something more subtle, more rare, more sacred. And that's why the pain is so hard to explain, because it's not ordinary sadness, it's a spiritual mourning. It's like mourning for something that still exists but is no longer accessible, as if the bond remained alive, but trapped in another plane, and this person feels as if they are still being called. But the voice that called them now sounds distant, fragmented, incomprehensible, and the cruelest part is that this person still believes, still holds on to a faint hope, almost imperceptible, that one day, maybe, the path will reopen. But they don't know how. They don't know where to search. They don't know if they should insist or if they should have let go already. This person prays in silence, without words, with their eyes closed and their soul screaming, prays for signs, for answers, for reconnection. And deep down, they know. They know it was real. They know they didn't make it up. They know it wasn't an exaggeration. The connection was palpable. Even though it was invisible, it was felt throughout their entire body. It was something from another dimension. It wasn't passion. It wasn't neediness. It was a mirror. It was a home. It was surrender. And now, only the echo remains. This person relives everything in detail. They relive a glance, a gesture, a touch that wasn't even physical but is etched in their skin. They relive interrupted conversations, hugs never given, the words that got caught in their throat. And they realize that certain connections have no end, they just change shape. But no one teaches how to deal with this. No one talks about this kind of absence. No one validates this pain. They say time heals. But this person doesn't want to heal. They want to understand. They want to reconnect. They want to feel again that which made the world slow down. Because only those who have lived it know. Only those who have perceived it know. Only those who have been touched by something beyond the human experience know what it means to lose that. This person doesn't want substitutes. They don't want distractions. They don't want false reunions. They want truth. They want vibration. They want a real meeting. But how to reconnect with what was lost in the invisible? How to resume a bond that broke without an apparent reason? How to start feeling again what the body no longer knows how to access? This person is tired, but they haven't lost faith. Even if fragile, even if silent, faith still resides there, in the depths of their eyes, in the pause before sleeping. In the moment when everything goes quiet and only the soul breathes, it's there that they listen. It's there that this person perceives that there is still something. It still beats, it still calls, it still seeks a response. Maybe one day it will return. Maybe it will never return. But what this person lived, no one can take away. It was real. It was divine. It was theirs, and even in absence and the memory remains sacred. Do you feel this too? Have you ever been this person? Silence within and let something deeper reveal itself. Because yes, this connection still acts, even when everything seems mute, even when the signs disappear, even when the other person pulls away, shuts down, disconnects, the connection stays alive. Somewhere the mind can't reach. This person feels that something insists on remaining, even with the distance, even with the absence, even with time trying to erase. And it's not obsession, it's not attachment, it's not nostalgia for routine or physical presence. It's something else. It's the certainty that there was a connection that transcended the human, a touch that reverberated beyond the skin, a meeting that left a spiritual mark. And no one talks about it. No one discusses what happens to someone who experiences such a connection and loses it, because it can't be explained with words, it can't be justified with logic, it can't be measured with time. The only thing this person can do is feel. Feel when music plays out of nowhere and triggers a memory that shouldn't hurt anymore. Feel when the heart races for no reason, as if the other is thinking of her too. Feel when dreams bring images, dialogues, memories that are not just recollections. They are encounters that continue to happen, in silence, in the invisible. This person tries to move on, but nothing else resonates the same way. Others touch, but they don't penetrate. They talk, but they don't access. They care, but they don't perceive. Because she used to perceive, she perceived effortlessly. She perceived in the gaze, in the tone of voice, in the tiniest gesture. She perceived and was perceived. That was the true connection. And when that is lost, there's no way to go back to how it was before. Not with another person, not with herself. This person now carries a breathing absence, a void that cannot be filled, a memory that won't fade, and a question that is never answered. Why did it have to end? But the deeper truth, the one she hasn't yet had the courage to confront, is this. Perhaps it hasn't ended. Perhaps it has only changed frequency. Perhaps the bond has transcended the limits of this time, and now it lives at another rhythm. In a place that can only be accessed with full presence, real silence, inner listening. And this person is learning to tune in, slowly, suffering, but learning. She realizes that the pain she feels is not a sign of weakness. It's a trace of truth, because only what was real hurts. Only what was whole is missed. Only what has touched beyond the surface remains. And the most sacred thing is this, even if it never returns. She has no regrets. She was transformed by something nameless, something that became part of who she is, something that forever changed the way she loves, the way she looks, the way she exists. And even if she can't reconnect, the connection became a root. Even in absence, it shapes the present. Even from a distance, it resonates in everything she feels. Have you ever seen this happen? Do you know this quiet pain that doesn't show itself but resides in the heart? because those who have felt it recognize it, and those who recognize it know. There's no need to explain. That person continues. They keep searching, even without knowing what they are looking for. They keep feeling even when everyone around insists it's over. They keep believing, even when the other no longer responds, no longer searches, no longer appears, because that person still feels, not the presence of the other, but the presence of the connection. This energy that pulses for no reason, that wakes up in the middle of the night, that burns when something reminds them, that whispers in the most unexpected moments. This person understands that it's not about reconnecting with someone, it's about reconnecting with oneself, with the part that left with them, with the dimension that connection opened inside them, and that now is empty. The true reunion may not be with the other, but with the state of soul that was awakened there, this internal place, this space of light, of silence, of peace, this place that only appeared because that connection existed. And now the mission is this: to return to that place, alone, whole, without needing the other, because the bond was divine. But the source of the light has always been within. Have you ever tried to return to that place? Have you ever had to find yourself again after losing someone who connected you to the most pure parts of yourself? If so, comment. That's it. Just that. No need to say anything more. That person who felt all of this begins to realize that the bond didn't come just to hurt. It came to open. It came to break down the old walls, came to disrupt what was overly controlled, came to lay the soul bare and make it see what was dormant inside, because before this connection, it didn't know how to feel like this, didn't know how to surrender like this, didn't know there was such a deep, delicate, and alive place within itself. The encounter awakened, but the loss revealed, and now even with a torn heart, this person begins to glimpse a truth that was once impossible to accept. Maybe the other was just the door, maybe their presence was just the call, but the real journey has always been inward. This person starts to hear things they didn't hear before, begins to notice subtle movements within them, intuitions, sensations, silences that become answers, and they realize that that absence didn't kill the connection. On the contrary, it refined it. Now it's no longer about having, it's about accessing, no longer about dividing, it's about sustaining, no longer about waiting for the other to return. It's about returning to oneself without ceasing to feel what still pulses for them. This person understands that the bond remains, but they no longer need the other to be real. It exists in memory, exists in expansion, exists in the way they now touch the world. Everything has changed. The way to love, the way to be present, the way to allow oneself. This connection has shaped the soul, and the soul now carries a vibration that will never fade. It's as if it has been marked with a unique frequency, and this frequency no longer needs external proof. They feel, and that is enough. This person, little by little, begins to trust again. Not in the other, not in the return, but in themselves. They trust in the capacity to continue feeling without self-destruction. Trust in the wisdom that pain has brought. Trust in the space that has been opened, because now they know and this space is not empty. It's fertile, it's sacred, it's a field of reconstruction, and it may be that one day life brings the other back, or not. But that doesn't change what has been lived, not even what has been transformed. This person understands that reconnecting doesn't mean repeating. Reconnecting sometimes is about integrating. It's about honoring what happened. It's about allowing the connection to continue to exist, without control, without dependency, without heaviness. It's letting it become part of the journey, and not just another obstacle to overcome. This person begins to feel a sense of lightness, not all the time, but sometimes. And those moments are everything, because they show that the worst is over, that the crossing is happening, that the mourning is turning into a rite, and the absence is becoming strength. This person realizes that something within them remains intact, even after everything. Love. Not the love that waits, that demands, that seeks a return, but the love that accepts, that recognizes, that releases, And this love is rare, it's silent, it's whole. This person has learned, in the pain, in the absence, in the invisible, and now they walk differently, they look differently, they feel differently, because something inside them has been rescued, and it no longer matters if the connection returns. They have already left something eternal within. Did you feel that too? Have you ever found yourself again after losing what made you feel most alive? This person now knows. That absence was not the end, it was revelation. It was the beginning of a different kind of presence. More subtle, more intimate, more true. The connection that seemed broken actually never came undone. It just changed its place. It moved from touch and entered feeling. It moved from coexistence and dove into the invisible. And now they walk with that inside, with this living memory, with this vibration that still pulses in the quietest spaces of the soul. This person no longer needs to understand everything, nor to control, nor to desperately seek a return, because the most important thing has already returned. Returned to within. Returned in the form of understanding, surrender, and peace. What was lived was real. It was rare. It was divine. And even if it never happens again, it has already left too deep a mark to be forgotten. This person is not the same anymore. They do not feel the same. They do not love the same. They do not close themselves off like before, because they were opened by something greater. And the beauty of it all is that now she can carry this energy forward, with others, with the world, with herself, without weight, without fear, without hurry. If this resonated with you, share this video with someone who might be feeling the same way. Someone who has lost something they can't quite explain. Someone who is still trying to find a piece of themselves in the midst of emptiness. Comment below what this means to you. You don't have to write much. It could be just, "I am that person too." Or, "This connection still lives in me." Or simply, "If you haven't subscribed yet, click now and come be a part of it." Here we talk about what no one talks about, feel what no one has the courage to feel, and we cross over together. Leave a like if this video reached you in some way. It might seem like just a gesture, but it's what allows this message to reach more people who are also silent right now. And if this made you realize something you hadn't named yet, the next video is going to turn you inside out. I'll see you there.